play guitar and sing, but can he juggle?
Television is a very different medium from live entertainment because you watch television in your home. And in 1970, people had television sets in their bedroom, and they laid in bed and they watched television. When you let somebody into your bedroom, it better be a nice person, though. You don't want them in your bedroom.
TV, right? I can do it again. You don't believe it, like.
That's a very different quality from just being a performer, just being honest. He had that quality. People wanted to be around him. He made people feel good and comfortable.
Just you went away last summer, couple of months ago.
In 1973, Jerry Weintraub launched John Denver's television career, not in America, but on the BBC, where there was less stress on meetings. The six-part series combined music, dance, and comedy routines. It was a runaway success with British viewers.
It was my first step in television, in entertainment television. I had done a couple documentaries prior to that. And what I wanted to do was to come someplace where there wasn't quite so much pressure on the subject and to stretch out a little bit and see if I could dance and what kind of comedy I could do.
I was doing Top of the Pops with 10 people, 6 dancers, a wonderful choreographer, Flick Colby. I wish we'd had a camera on the rehearsal of the choreography, because that was insanely funny, because he was pretty much flat-footed. And but Flick was clever enough to give him little moves that he could do. And of course it was always hilarious.
Meet Tarzan, Eugene.
It was a joy. We did a live show every week, live on stage with an audience. But it was more like a variety show. And we were wearing costumes and doing silly songs. Oh, it was so much fun. The series also gave John his catchphrase.
Far out, you guys have been so great. I thought that far out, man, made my whole day.
The success of the BBC series was repeated in the USA, where John hosted TV specials and documentaries. He was fast becoming one of the biggest stars in American music, and his greatest hits album of 1973 sold over 10 million copies in the first 6 months alone. The Rocky Mountains were John's retreat, a place where he could hide away. Staying there in early 1974, he wrote his most famous song, a love letter to his wife Annie, although it was written after a row.
John and I were in our kitchen, and we had had an argument. And we had an argument, and then we had sorted it out. And he left to go skiing. And I was putzing around, and about half hour later, 45 minutes later, he came back in the door. And he had gone to Aspen Mountain and gotten on the Bell Mountain chairlift, and he wrote the song in 10 minutes. And he came back and he played it for me.
You fill up my senses like a night in a forest, like the mountains in springtime, like a walk in the rain, like a storm in the desert, like a sleepy blue ocean. You fill up my senses until the end. There was nobody on the mountain when I started out that day. I skied down this very tough run, all out of breath, and skied right onto the lift. I was riding up again, sitting there, catching my breath, looking down at where I'd just been a few moments ago, all this physical stuff going on, when suddenly I was hypersensitive to how beautiful everything was. The sky was a blue you only see from mountaintops. Then I became aware of the other people skiing, the colors of their clothes, the birds singing, the sound of the lift, the sibilant sound of the skiers going down the mountain. All of these things filled up my senses. And when I said this to myself, unbidden images came one after the other. The night in the forest, a walk in the rain, the mountains in springtime. All of the pictures merged, and then what I was left with was Annie. That song was the embodiment of the love that I felt at the time. In the 10 minutes it took to reach the top of the mountain, the song was there.
It's been wonderful for me because I've heard it in elevators. I've heard it in St. Mark's Square with violinists. My daughter had it played at her wedding. But people still carry that with them, and it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful gift.
The songs weren't contrived. He wasn't a Tin Pan Alley writer. He didn't go into an office in the morning or a studio and say, I'm going to sit and write some songs. Whenever it hit him, he wrote a song.
You fill up my senses.